The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storylines with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is time for Cowboys Storyline. It is Tuesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween, everyone. I am Nick Eatman here. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys football. We can talk about the NFL, the league, the best teams in the NFC, AFC, where the Cowboys stand and all of that. This is the day we see a lot of power rankings are coming out. We have an article on the side on that, and I imagine the Cowboys move up a little bit after that win and some other teams falling down. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear anything you guys want to talk about. And if you want to do Halloween-themed stuff, I just tweeted out, too. That's a challenge that I have for you guys today, the callers or text lines. I want to hear some Cowboy names, some Cowboy themes from Halloween. I mean, I'm talking cheesy level here, all right? Let's go. I mean, it's nacho cheese level here, like Count Dacula. Put that out there. DeMarcus, Werewolf, Brandon, Halloween. That's what I'm talking about. Like very, very cheesy level here. I want to see it on the text line. You guys can call in. Let's have a Halloween edition. Make sure nobody pops out and scares anyone here on the show. I've already checked. Make sure that happened. We're not doing any of that crap today. All right. Let's go. Let's get right to the callers. We got two on the line. I have a feeling we're going to have a few more today. So let's start it off. Travis in San Antonio, what do you got on your mind? What's up?
What's going on, Nick? Happy Victory Tuesday since I didn't call in yesterday.
There you go. We can go all week long with the victories. That's fine.
There you go. I just wanted to call. I know last week I didn't call. I didn't call much last week, but I know there was some talk about, where's Mozzie at? What's he doing? And I know not everyone like has a tape, but I do think Brian Broaddus encourages everyone to get that all 22, and it is helpful if you're trying to find a specific person like that because it's hard to see during a game. So right. I understand it, but if you go back and watch, even after the Chargers game, people were saying, hey, Marquise Bell's been flashing. He was flashing last game, and we always talk about how the D-line always helps your DBs. Well, that D-line also helps your linebackers. So I've said that. I was the guy that called him like 4 weeks ago and said, just give Mozzie time. Just give him time, and he'll start playing well. And I heard Hankins last night on the Cowboys Hour say that his hand usage is better. He's getting off the ball. He's doing his job to allow the snaps that he's in there. I think he's been there like 18 snaps.
Right.
He's doing his job to allow them to flow and make plays behind the ball. So I'm going to keep saying, just kind of, let's be patient with Mozzie and let him do his thing. And then my question for you is, I was thinking about next week going forward. I'm kind of curious how Dan's going to play it because we know that they've got two studs in Devontae and A.J. Brown. And I'm kind of curious. My first thought was I would put Bland on Devontae actually and put Gilmore on A.J. just because it's he's a bigger receiver and maybe Gilmore can get his hands on him a little bit. But then I thought about it, and A.J. Brown also has speed, so I'm just kind of curious what you think. And maybe they'll mix it up, too, to keep them guessing. Yeah. But that was just my first thought as far as matchups go.
All right.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Thanks for the call, Travis. I think with that, me personally, because I don't see a huge difference in Gilmore and Bland other than, obviously, your interception returns. But, I mean, they both can cover. They both make plays. They both can get interceptions. And A.J. Brown is better than Dante Smith, but not to the point where it's like that much different. They're both going to be challenging. So I could see where every once in a while you mix things up just to keep them honest. But I bet you with this, you just play sides. I don't think the Cowboys have one corner, appreciably better than the other, and the Eagles don't have one receiver way much better than the other receiver. So I could see them probably just playing it straight up and whatever sides that they're on, and that'll help too with the other coverages of what they're trying to do. So yeah, I think you mix it up every now and again, but not to the point where you have to change things terribly because the Eagles have two guys that can hurt you for sure. All right, and the Mozzie Smith, Mozzie's getting better. One thing that I keep wanting you guys to remember is that, Neville Gallimore, Osa Odigizua, this is their fourth year for Gallimore, third for Osa. I mean, these guys have been around too, and they're working on contracts themselves, and so it's not easy for Mozzie to get in the game. I mean, it's just not. I think the Cowboys thought that he would be that much better than them, but that's not the case right now. So I credit the Cowboys for playing the guys that are helping them win the most. Now Mozzie's getting some turns. Games like the other day where he gets a lot more reps. That's good, but I mean he's still got a ways to go, and I don't think the Cowboys are hitting the panic button by any means on him. All right, Michael in California. Michael, what's up?
What's going on, Nick? It's your boy Michael, your favorite caller down in Colton, California. I just want to say shout out to the whole Cowboys Nation.
All right.
And thank you very much for having me on. But I just want to say I don't fear the Eagles at all. I think we got them this week. I'm not trying to be a homer or anything, but when it comes to division rivals, you know how it goes. Sometimes one team could be good, one team could be bad, but still, we break even, and I think we got the Eagles this weekend.
All right.
I just want to say I hope the Joneses make a move today. And, talent acquisition, like they say, is 365, so I'm going to leave it at that. And God bless you all and have a good day. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Typically, somebody throws a vague thing out there like that, I would say, whoa. What move do you want to make? What position would you like to make? But today, I'm ready for the trade deadline to be over, to either make one or not. You know what I mean? I mean, get off the pot. That's basically the way I think about it because there's been so much talk about it. I don't have to ask Michael in California what position he wants. He's going to tell me. Running back, linebacker, corner, some O-line depth, maybe a receiver. I get it. And not sure they're going to do anything. Jerry Jones said on his radio show this morning that at this point it's kind of tough to do. Not so much executing the trade, but if you are to bring in a player, you probably have to rework his contract, and that's not always easy to do and under the time frame there. Because the reason why most people are going to trade him is because of contract. So you need to work it a little bit at this point in the season to get it under the cap. So, I'm not saying nothing can't happen. They can move quickly if they need to, but at this point, it doesn't seem likely that we got players coming in. Don't rule out a player going out, though. I mean, I'm not trying to imply or I don't know anything, but I think that is the better scenario of the two, of the Cowboys looking to add picks and maybe trading depth at certain positions if they feel like they've got some. All right, getting some text line questions in on my Halloween-themed stuff. This didn't ask for a poem, but we got one. From Dan in Philly. He's going to have a big week here with being a Cowboy fan. He says, trick or treat, smell his cleat, Micah Parsons gonna eat. Like it. All right. And then another 520 number just said, Randy the Manster White. I mean, yeah, that perfect. I mean, he was a Halloween-themed scary project for every time he lined up. So, perfect. Love it. All right, Ryan in Michigan. Who is the scariest player that you have met? If you had to ghost one player on social media because of their performance, who would it be? Let me go with the scariest Cowboy player you ever met. I mean, I guarantee you, and I haven't talked about this, I could pipe Chris Beam up right now, and I know exactly the player he is going to say because he was with me in the last 20 years, and he knows exactly who I'm talking about as the scariest human being the Cowboys have ever had. Chris, are you even there?
Yes, I'm here. It's Alonzo Spellman.
Alonzo Spellman. I mean, it's easy. It's easy. I mean, I hear the phones ringing in the back. So Alonzo Spellman is the scariest person that I've ever met for the Cowboys. I mean, he had these eyes that could just oh my goodness, and a huge human being. So, and we both saw it. Chris and I both saw this guy sitting in his seat in the airplane on the aisle. It's funnier if you said it was the window, but it was the aisle. This guy opened the door. Opened the overhead, opened it up, moved the thing up, got his bag, put it in there, reached up, shut it, and never got out of his seat. True story. This guy was a massive, massive human being, and you know, at that point in his career, he was going through some things off the field a little bit, and wasn't always 100% just focused. I think he was diagnosed as bipolar, so he was going through some things, but you know, he was a big player, big human being, and when he was ready to play, I mean, he was a difference maker there. But yeah, he by far the scariest human being I've ever looked at. And they've had some others like that too, but I give him the winner there. All right, let's go to the phone line. Ronnie in New Jersey. Ronnie, what's up? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Nick. Good morning.
Morning.
That's actually the first name when you were mentioning the first name that came into my mind. It was Alonzo Spellman, because I remember him. He came from the Bears, right?
Right.
He used to be a Bears defensive tackle. Yeah, he was a scary looking dude.
Yeah.
So that you kind of answered my question, because I was going to ask you what we were going to get this Halloween. Were we going to get a trick or a treat? But I think with what you just said about they're not looking into a trade. That kind of answered my question. I was hoping we would have tried to get Henry from the Titans. I know you can't say no names, but I think we need that power running back. That will give us a better chance, especially for these games that are coming up. That it's kind of playoff football. Playoff football is starting early for us, because all these teams that we're going to play, Detroit, these are tough teams.
Yeah,
and we need something like that, but. It'll be disappointing if we don't get someone like him. And yesterday you mentioned about the guy that was a free agent. He already got picked up. It's like as soon as they heard you mention it,
I know.
they picked him up and put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, talk about Leonard Fournette, who went to the
Yes. Yeah, that was disappointing also, that we didn't try to at least put him on our practice squad. So I just wanted to ask you, with the line with Tyron Smith waking up with an injury, basically, because the guy gets up and gets injured. What are we looking at left tackle? Is this guy going to be ready to play? That he got hurt in this game, or are we going to have to put out the rookie out there?
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks for the call, Ronnie. I think that Tyron Smith is probably going to be close to being ready to playing this game. That's one thing Jerry Jones alluded to this morning on his radio show on 105.3 The Fan. Chuma Edoga is not going to be a long-term thing at all. It's just a low ankle sprain. So, I do think Awesome Richards factors in here one way or another as your third left tackle option with Tyron Smith and then Chuma Edoga and then Awesome Richards. And because these guys, we're not talking about long-term issues here, that's going to keep Tyler Smith at left guard. You start making some long-term moves here, maybe you decide to slide him out. But I think right now, they feel like Chuma Edoga's best position is left tackle. And I don't know if they think that way about Tyler Smith on a long term, but they really don't want to move him within the season. And remember, this is a different offensive line coach than we saw last year. So last year, maybe it was a situation where they were okay doing that, and Tyler Smith, even as a rookie, was able to do it. But for some reason, that does not seem to be an option that they want to look at this year. I did ask someone close to the front office just Sunday, where do you see Tyler Smith's position next year? And they said left tackle. So a little surprising. Well, that's not surprising. I know that's what they think. For me, I think I would keep him at left guard. But as I said all along, I want to see Tyler Smith at his very best position. That's the one he should be at. I don't discount if it's guard. I don't discount putting him there at guard. You drafted him 24th overall. If you got an all-pro guard, throughout his career, perfect. If you need to play him at left tackle because he's better there, then I'm fine with that too. Once Tyron moves on and retires, which is probably going to happen here at some point. Obviously he's at the down year of his career. All right, let's go to the next caller, Derek in Springfield, Missouri.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, pretty good. First-time caller. Actually, I tweeted you just a little bit ago because I forgot the call-in number. So disregard the tweet. I just went back to yesterday's episode and got it.
Got it. Awesome. Springfield, Missouri. Yeah. I've been to a few baseball card shows there when I was a kid. I think I saw Ozzie Smith there in Springfield, Missouri, way back in the day. Not Mozzie, but Ozzie, the Wizard.
Yeah. The Wizard. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I've met him before. But anyway, so I had a couple questions. One's a two-parter. So I've always been curious, like, it's about Tyron Smith. One, do you think he's going to play Sunday? And then two, it's about his contract. So I've always been curious about these incentive-based contracts. I know he took a pay cut, and his contract this year is basically based off, like, games played.
Right.
So are those incentives, like, already on the books? You know what I mean? Like, Are they, like, is the cap basically like, hey, he's playing 17 games, so will we get, like, cap relief for the 2 games that he's missed already? And do you think that kind of, like, strategically plays into, like, them holding him out last week? Like, hey, there's another $1 million, you know, like, or I mean, I know that.
No, you're right. I mean, that's what makes this thing so weird because I was told he was like, I can play. And they're like, I don't know if you can. Well, when there's $1 million on the line, I mean, can't you see where I mean, there's only so many Sean Lees in the world that are like Sean Lee said he had a chance to make $2 million. Last game of the season a few years ago was not healthy. Could have played, but said, no, I'm not good enough. And left $2 million on the table. Not many guys, if any, are going to do that. And so Tyron made $1 million, I think, just being in uniform for Arizona. So it is a trick.
Okay, well, I gotcha. Okay, because he was like, the camera went to him like, he was like mean mugging the camera, and I'm thinking in my head, like, did the Cowboys just gain $1 million on their cap right there? Or I guess it's inactive base.
First of all, Tyron Smith probably was mean mugging when his firstborn was born. I mean, Tyron Smith, he could be in a good mood. I mean, that's his look. I mean, that's what but. No, I think Tyron actually. I think it's being active and is what triggers that. Okay. And to go back to your question, also it's called a likely to be earned is the name. I mean, is the phrase for those type of incentives, and those are already on the books. You've got to have the money for that. So the Cowboys will save some money there on the cap doing that. Of course, everything rolls over. You know, they're trying to sign, CD, whose money keeps going up every time he makes big plays, and Micah, same thing. So they save money on that, but it's already on the cap for this year because that's called a likely to be earned incentive.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I was always curious how that worked, and then my other question is what is your favorite, like, Cowboys, let's say, comeback? And I'm 33 years old. I've been a Cowboys fan since, I can remember, like, 5 years old. Like, I get a lot of crap. Oh, you're a bandwagoner. That's the last time they won a Super Bowl. And I'm like, dude, I've been a Cowboys fan, like, the worst stretch ever.
Right.
Maybe.
No. If you're that age and you're a Cowboy fan, then you're a lifer. I mean, for sure. You haven't even experienced it yet.
Right. So my two, I'm going to give you two, and then I'll hang up so somebody else can call in. But I believe it was the 2000 season, Rocket Ismail in Washington, the flea flicker bomb to end the game. Like, I remember being 10 years old and just going nuts. And then, I was at the playoff game against the Lions when Romo threw that touchdown to Terrence Williams in the back of the end zone. So those are my two favorites. And anyway, thanks for your time, I'm glad I got to get on the show. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Man, I hate doing this. I hate doing this when people because when they have a story. I mean, this is their story, you know, and. Okay, first of all, the Rocket Ismail, that is my favorite comeback. It's the 99 season. You said 2000. It was 99 because that was the first year that I started working for the Cowboys, and it was down by 21 points in the fourth quarter. So this is my very first game with the Cowboys, week 1 at Washington. You're down 35-14 in the fourth quarter, and the guys that I remember watching as a younger kid, younger teenager, here I am, sharing a bus or locker room, hotel, escalator, elevator, all that with these guys. And here comes Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. They start coming back. They tie the game. Rocket Ismail on a touchdown to win the game. It wasn't a flea flicker because y'all know if it was a flea flicker, then I would be talking about this even more than ever. It wasn't flea flicker. It was just play action in overtime, deep ball, Rocket. Great comeback. My other favorite comeback was probably at Philly in 2005 when Roy Williams picked off a pass right in front of the Cowboys bench, right in front of Bill Parcells, returned it for a touchdown, stunned the Eagles 21-20. Huge game, huge win. A lot of great behind-the-scenes stories of that, which I have mentioned before, but we're not going to go through it again. But those are my two favorite comebacks there. All right, I got a text question here from Carl in Nashville. Is the Romo field goal fumble the scariest play? I mean, yeah, I guess scary wasn't really the term. It was just punch to the gut. I mean, like, you're talking about the playoff game in 06 where they have a chance to take the lead. You know, the thing that always sort of gets me from being really that frustrated about that play and the one with Dez is just because there was time on the clock and the other team would need a field goal to probably win it or tie it, depending on what the Cowboys did on a 2-point conversion in Green Bay. But I mean, it wasn't a sense that they were going to go win at all. But you would like to have seen what happens. You know, I put those three plays in that. I just want to see it. I want to see the Cowboys take the lead in Seattle. I want to see the Cowboys get that catch with Dez in Green Bay and what happens. And I want to see P.I. called on Dion in the 94 championship game. Cowboys can go score. They got 5 minutes to go. They're down by 3. I want to see what happens there. Because if they win that game, they're going to beat San Diego in the Super Bowl and win 3 straight. And now we're talking about a complete different situation there. So anyways, those are the things that I call that as scary. All right, let's go to Joe in New York. Bruce in Houston is our next call. Bruce in Houston.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
I tried to get on yesterday on Victory Monday, but I couldn't get through. You're just so dadgum popular. But
appreciate it.
No, it's good. We were talking about those trades, and I've heard some of these mentioned, obviously, with Cousins getting hurt. There's rumor out there that Minnesota may want Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. Boy, if you could get a third pick for him, I'd probably do that, either or. But I don't know if that's true or not. But as far as the Henry, I mean, I would do it because I've been hearing a lot of people say, I think Henry, even though he's 30, if you'd be nice. And the other potential trade they were talking about is trading Pollard straight up for Henry. I don't know if the numbers would work on that or not, but because Pollard's going to be a good back next year. It always seems to take a year plus possibly 2 to recover from those injuries. And that's where I was going with this. I don't think we have a weak offensive line. They're getting older, true, but I think it might be more schemes with Pollard. He's not a between-the-tackle guy. When he did his best when he was outside, I'd like to see Dallas do more turnaround and pitch, almost like they do the jet sweeps. They seem to do better with him. Of course, you got a second guy there, Dow, that uses his speed.
Right.
If you got a Henry, you could definitely use him if you traded them straight up. But I'll hang up and listen. But talk about those trades if you can, and would you do those deals?
Yeah.
Have a good day, Nick.
Thank you, Bruce. I mean, I can't talk a lot about specific trades of what could happen. I mean, I could talk about what you think the Cowboys might need, things like that. I'm looking at other trades here. I'm looking at NFL Network on what the Giants just got for Leonard Williams, a second and a fifth. Pretty good defensive tackle. The Pollard one's interesting, because you're I don't think, honestly, I should know this. I don't know if you can trade Pollard in a franchise tag in the middle of a season like that. I've never seen that happen before. Maybe you can. I just don't know if I've ever seen a guy get traded there like that. But I guess you could. But that doesn't help you. When trading him doesn't help you. I think giving him some extra help is something that you need. I just think of this. When the 49ers game happened and Tony Pollard got hurt in the game, I immediately did not think the Cowboys were going to win. It was a close game. They might have been in the lead or it was tied. Or I was like, they're not winning. They're not winning this game. And they didn't. And they had chances to. I just didn't feel like they had enough playmakers to win it. So if Tony Pollard were to get hurt right now, knock on wood, but I mean, I still think they're in the same situation where they don't have a lot of depth of running back that you can count on. So that would be the one position that I think that they would need to bolster here. And I think you can do it. I think you can do it. You can get other teams running backs. I mean, the value isn't always there for running back. So you can go and make a move there. So that's what I would do. If I'm not saying go get the number one guy that's available, who I'm not even sure is available, but I do think the Cowboys should figure out a way, one way or another, because I mean you've got some pieces in place at other positions to withstand injuries. I don't know if I see that at running back. And you can say, why would you jinx the team? And are you superstitious and all that? Hey, that this is part of the business in the NFL is you have to be prepared for the worst. You have to. That's why backup quarterbacks make a lot of money, because you can't be stuck if something were to happen. And so that is a situation. I just don't know if the Cowboys have a lot of depth there. And so if you're going to make a serious run here, I think the Cowboys need to really look at a backup running back. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on Cowboys Storyline.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't-stop-banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. Back to Cowboys Storylines.
All right, welcome back here, Cowboys Storyline. Got about 15, 20 more minutes to go on this Halloween edition. I said before when the show started, I threw out a couple of Cowboy-themed names. I was going to play along here. I'm looking for the ultra cheesy ones, too. I mean, if you're going to say Brandon Halloween, I mean, you got. I mean, that's the level that I'm talking about here. And you guys have come back. I got some here on Twitter. Trayvon Gravedigger, okay. Nick Eatman alive. Okay. What? Fair, I guess. Tony Goldberg, Chauncey Golston, Drew Fearsome, Shante Pumpkin Carver. I like that. Yeah. Jerry Bones. I don't know about that one. Creepy Lamb. Like I said, you get what you get. Ashante Pumpkin Carver is pretty good. BW Spider Web. Okay. All right. Joe in New York. We got two Joes back to back. We'll start in New York. Joe, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How are you, sir? Happy Halloween.
Thank you, man. Happy Halloween to you.
I love all the work that you do. We miss you on Cowboy break, or at least I do, I should say. I don't see you with Broadus and those guys. Yeah. But real quick,
they're rolling. They're rolling. They're still the number one show. They're still number one. And
Derek, I just miss you on it, though.
Yeah,
just to
I appreciate that.
I thought your piece was vital, and this is why I'm happy with the Cowboys at 5-2. I think a lot of people. I'll just speak for myself. The loss to the Niners, not that they lost, but how they lost, and kind of put a damper on the season for me. And I'm starting to climb out of it. Hopefully, we beat the Eagles. But here's my question to you, and I got three quick ones because I know you know the inside stuff. Okay. If Jerry and Steven and the guys had to do it over again, would they have still let Cooper go and then kept Gallup? That's number one, because I think Gallup really hasn't. I think when you say about having playmakers, and I know we have CD, he's phenomenal. And I think Cooks is okay. I just think that, if we ever lost CD, you talk about Pollard, I would be terrified without having CD in the lineup. That, right. As far as, being able to get where we want to go to. That's number one. Number two is, we talk about guys with the second-year jump. Can you give any insight onto where or what's happened to Sam Williams? I really thought he would be a candidate to be really kind of a dominant player. And to follow up, because I don't want to take up all your time, and another one is, I think, things that I like to see get better is, I think the offensive line has taken a step back. I know, I'm not criticizing Tyron Smith. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's just not the same player. But is it fair to say, based on the lack of running, is Zach Martin the same player, or is he still an all-pro player in your opinion? Nick, best of luck with the show. You're the best.
Thanks.
I'll jump off the air to listen to your answers. Thanks.
Appreciate that. I'll go backwards. I'll start backwards. I think both could be true. I don't think Zach Martin is exactly the same player that he was, but I mean, is he still an all-pro? Probably. It's hard to unseat these guys when they're there and they're still playing at a high level and their team's playing well. He had a little bit of issues early on with Aaron Donald and those guys up front, just communication wise. But I still think Zach Martin is your best lineman. I think he's in the conversation for best offensive lineman in the history of the team. And I think Larry Allen's going to hold that spot, but I think Zach's right there. And so Sam Williams, that's a situation where they knew when they got him, he had some growing up to do. He had some issues off the field, and that they knew that. And this was sort of a risky pick for them because upside was there, and it still is for him. Freaky athletic talent. And I can't say it enough of what happened yesterday or Sunday with being the gunner. This is a defensive end. Don't let the 54 fool you. He doesn't play linebacker. He is a defensive end. And he was rushing. He was running down the field as a gunner. Those are corners and receivers. Now, can he do it every time? I'm not sure. He did it late in the game there, and it worked. But that's the kind of athletic ability he's got. He's also blocked a punt. And the thing is, he was somewhat blocked. They let him go, but he kind of shot through there. This wasn't just free rush, got there. He had some burst to get there. He's got athletic ability. He has a penalty problem though. Okay, he gets too many penalties for the amount of that he plays. He's got some Randy Gregory in him. I'm talking about on the field. I guess you could say some off the field issues, but not the same. But just from a freaky athletic talent, He's got that. He's got to just kind of put it all together. He's got good players in front of him, too. I mean, Dorrance Armstrong's been here a lot longer. Fowler's been in the league. Dante Fowler's been in the league almost 10 years now, almost 10. Micah, of course, D-Law. So it's not easy for him to just get on the field, but he's got some freaky ability, and I think the Cowboys are just wanting to keep making sure that they get to that. And I think if they had to do it again, I think they would make the Amari trade. I do. They could get more for it than just a fifth. But I feel like they thought at the time, and they still think that was a good move for them from a contract situation to get more players, to get more players signed, free up some money, and also pave the way a little bit for CD to blossom into the receiver that he's been. From that standpoint, it's been a good move. But every time he makes a play in Cleveland, you look at that and you think, oh, look what they could have together. All right, another Joe. Joe in Stamford, Texas. Joe, what's up?
Howdy, Nick. I figured I'd hick it up a little bit since we had such a New York accent with that last one there.
Well, he probably thinks yours is the weird one. You know what I mean?
So, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I don't think he's weird, but I was just really
it's foreign to both. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I'm actually a little bit more used to yours, but you know what? All these callers we get from the Northeast and Minnesota and California, and it's awesome. You guys are great.
That's what makes it America's team, brother.
There you go. There you go.
America's team. So, thinking today about the Eagles, to me, that's really what we need to be starting to focus on. You know, this Cowboys team is weak where the Eagles are strong, and that's what makes this a tough matchup for the Cowboys. Our the middle of our line and just our run stopping is weak, and that's what they're good at. And then, on the other side, their defensive line is great, and our offensive line is just not performing like we would like to see it. So those are my concerns for the game. They were talking comebacks. I like that subject. Whenever he brought it up, I knew you were going to choose the 99 Washington game. That honestly is my all-time favorite comeback as well.
Yeah.
But two Romo comebacks that I really love is the Jesse Holley comeback, which was almost the exact same play, of the type of play, that little run action play fake.
Yeah.
And then Jesse Holley cuts it up like rocket. And then the one I really love is the 5-interception Buffalo Monday night game that Tony had, that they came back and won, where they kicked a field goal and won it, and they took it away, and then he did it again. Who was that?
Nick
was
Folk.
That Nick Folk?
Sure was.
Yeah, those were two of my favorites.
He had a 53-yarder they called timeout right before, and he made it. They called timeout, and then they went and kicked it again. And T.O. in the locker room said he made the longest field goal of all time, 106 yards. That's a great comeback. No doubt about it, because Buffalo, their fans were starving for a win. Monday Night Football hadn't played in Monday Night Football in like 20-something years, and to go and beat them like that, just stole. They stole that game from them.
I almost turned that game off after we didn't get the 2-point conversion.
Right.
And I was like, T.O. almost caught it and then didn't catch it, and I was like, okay, this is over. And I just about turned it off, and I was like, no, I'll just leave it on.
Yeah.
And then somehow we came back.
Onside kick. And without going to YouTube, I would love if somebody knew the answer to the player that got the onside kick that actually recovered it. It was a tight end that recovered the ball. Very forgettable.
Escobar.
No, it was not. It was not. But that's okay. Nick Folk made the kick. Great comeback. Great games there. All right, let's keep it moving here. Thank you for the call, Joe. Text line question: scariest coaching decision. This was from a 914 number. Scariest coaching decision. How about Barry Switzer going 4th and inches against the Eagles twice? 1995. That's right. Lost that game against the Eagles. Didn't lose another one rest of the year, but if that matters, and it should, but what's weird about those 92, 93, and 95 Super Bowl teams, in December or November, late in the year, each one of those years had a very, very tough this disheartening loss. Just how could you lose a weird, controversial play in 92 against Washington that they lost? Of course, everyone remembers the Leon Lett game against the Dolphins in the snow in 93 and then 95, that going for it twice. All three of those were the last loss of the season for the team. They just flipped it, turned it around. It's weird how that happens sometimes. It happens in sports. We've seen it with the Texas Rangers, had some really tough losses that you're like, well, they're not coming back from that. And then they find a way to do that. So it's pretty amazing. All right, as my computer died in front of me here, I'm looking for the next caller. If there is one, there is. Sean in Columbia, South Carolina.
Nick, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? I know you would know the answer to the trivia question we asked a few weeks ago. Which college has the most players on the team on the roster? Which college is representing the most? I bet you would know that.
Which college is representing?
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh man.
Well,
I mean, the way you're throwing it at me, I would assume it's USC or South Carolina.
It's South Carolina. You know, it's funny. No one calls them USC except for if you're there. It probably in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I get it. But you're right. What was that? But, yeah, the South Carolina does have 4 players still on the roster right now. Stephon Gilmore, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Brooks, and I forgot the other guy.
No, Sean Wright.
No, Sean Wright. No, Mukwamu. Mukwamu was
Israel.
Yeah,
okay.
Israel Mukwamu.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, this is my first time calling you in some years, actually, and I'm really, proud of you getting your own show.
Thank you.
Because we go back in the days of the basement. We always doing a lunch break at Valley Ranch.
That's right. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Derek and I wasn't on camera. We could say what we wanted. We could have our little inside jokes. No one knew what was happening. Now it's all on camera with the bright lights. People got to wear shades. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, hey, I got 2 questions for you. And it could be, first question, it could be just sportsmanship, but it just seems to me like with listening to McCarthy, Jerry, and Steven, that they're lending a lot of weight to this last game where we just totally dismantled the Rams and thinking we don't need to do any kind of upgrade over the trade deadline. Because my concern would be that we get to the Eagles and we're like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should have pulled the trigger on this or that.
Right.
But then, do you see that is what they're doing? Is it either showmanship or is it that maybe they are giving too much weight to the win?
Okay, I'll answer that. Do you have other questions?
Yes, yeah. And the second question is, I see that Minnesota. I don't know if you talked about this already, but Minnesota and the Saints are looking to pull the trigger on a trade to bring Jameis to Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
Would you be willing to offer Cooper Rush up for that trade? Because the reason why is because Minnesota will give a lot, because if they feel like they're in contention, they will give up a lot to get a quarterback that they feel is worth it, because that's what they did back when they got Bradford from the Eagles.
Uh-huh.
So,
I would look into that. I mean, but see, here's the thing. Thank you, Sean, for the call. The thing about it is that, do the Cowboys feel like that they're protected themselves? Do they feel like they have 2 capable backups? Because if you don't feel like it's that they're there yet with Trey Lance, then I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, because Cooper Rush has proven he can go win you games. He can go win some games. If something were to happen to Dak, short term, 2, 3, 4 weeks, Cooper Rush has shown that he can go win you some games. The defense has proven over time that they can go and win games for you as well. So with the combination of both, you can win. If you feel like you have 2 backups, if you don't feel like you're there yet, and you're still, getting Trey Lance where he needs to be, then I probably wouldn't go that route. I wouldn't at all. Now, money talks or compensation talks in this case, and you never know what another team's looking for. But if the right deal comes along, I think you would always look. But I think Jalen. I'm sorry. I mean Jameis Winston. I believe Jameis Winston's the type of guy that would probably. He would probably have a little bit more interest than anybody else. All right, we got some other trades happening here. It looks like from around the league, looks like Washington has made a trade with the Bears. Montez Sweat going to the Bears. He's in the last year of his contract, getting a second-round pick for him. That's the type of deal. A little surprising that the Bears are the ones getting him. But here's the thing: Bears have some picks. I think that they've got some picks for some trades that they've made, and this is the type of player that the Bears don't make this trade so they could go win. Okay, they're making this because they feel like this is a player that they can build around for the future, relatively young, and that's the kind of trade that I think you need to look at. So interesting, and I think things like this are going to happen all day long. So all right, I think we're done with questions. We don't have anybody else on the line, so we can wrap this thing up. It's been a good Halloween edition here on Cowboys Storyline. I was trying to see if I got anyone else that has come in and thrown another name at me. No, I didn't. Well, actually, though, someone did give me the answer to the question of the scary comeback against the Buffalo Bills that came back and won that game, and who recovered the onside kick. It was a tight end by the name of Tony Curtis, number 89, big former basketball player. I think he played at Portland State, maybe. He was a basketball player, and he looked the part. I mean, for sure. Played a couple years with the Cowboys. A developmental guy, never really clicked for him, but he got that onside kick in that play. They had to have it. The clock was running out, and then, of course, Nick Folk makes the kick. All right, a lot of stuff happening today. I got the trade deadline going on. It's Halloween. It's Tuesday. Got the big Eagle game coming up. So you guys did a nice job bearing with me here. We were figuring this out. Had a lot of funny trick-or-treat names and all that kind of good stuff. I'm sure there's some good ones that we've left on the table, so feel free to tweet the show there, and also follow the show on Cowboys on Twitter X. It's at DC Storyline. Give me a follow there. Trying to ramp up those followers if you can. All right. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this?